wished you could act like queen or king and do whatever you want, life would be amazing, right? If only it were true. Mabel, your royalty did have the best living conditions, but compared to now, it was pretty terrible. One prominent queen during this time was Eleanor of Aquitaine. Eleanor was famous for many things, but what I think she should most be remembered for is her regal bearing and resourceful and resilient spirit in the face of betrayal and heartache from her husband, sons, and even grandson. From her childhood, Eleanor's life seemed like a dream come true. Eleanor was rich, beautiful, and educated. Her father, Duke William X of Aquitaine, owned even more land and had more money than the King of France, King Louis the Fat. However, tragedy was always close by. On the same day, she received a letter from her father that her father had died. She also received news that she was going to be married to the Prince of France, Prince Louis, whom she didn't know. She was only 15. But that was kind of the marrying age for women at the time, so she met the situation head on. Eleanor was married twice. Both marriages were full of challenges and heartache. After she was married to Louis, making her Queen of France, she quickly discovered she had nothing in common with him. She was very unhappy. Amazingly, Eleanor was also able to get annulment with him in 1152. This meant she was no longer married to him, but it was from one bad marriage to another. Eleanor married Henry II soon after, which made her Queen of England. Henry was a horrible husband, though. They eventually separated. It was messy. Eleanor boldly supported a revolution against him led by their oldest son, young Henry. It failed, and Henry arrested Eleanor. It wasn't until young Henry died she was freed. If you thought her first two marriages were complicated, Eleanor's final years were worse. But by this time, Eleanor was old and tired of fighting. When King Henry died, their son Richard became king and ruled until his death. Upon Richard's death, Eleanor's youngest son, John, became king. King Philip of France went to war with John. Shockingly, Eleanor's own grandson, Arthur, attacked her during the same war. Arthur had plotted with Philip to capture Eleanor and hold her for ransom. John eventually came to the rescue, though, and threw Arthur in prison. Eleanor was now old, worn out, and sick. She moved to the Abbey of Fortevald, where she was taken care of by the nuns until her death. Royal life was no fairy tale. Although it looked dazzling from afar, from the beginning, Eleanor experienced most events that most young people wouldn't be able to handle well. Her husband, her sons, and even her grandson were all against her at different times. However, the most significant characteristic to remember about Eleanor was her unconquerable spirit. I used to wish I could act like Queen when I was younger. I don't anymore, but I don't mind being a little bit like Eleanor, regal, resourceful, and resilient.